Instinctive love toward an object demands a mastery to obtain it, and if a person feels they can't control the object or feel threatened by it, they act negatively toward it. Public self is a conditioned construct of the inner psychological self. The dream is the liberation of the spirit from the pressure of external nature, a detachment of the soul from the fetters of matter. You wanted to kill your father in order to be your father yourself. Now you are your father, but a dead father. Where such men love they have no desire, and where they desire they cannot love. In matters of sexuality we are at present, every one of us, ill or well, nothing but hypocrites. Every one has wishes which he would not like to tell to others, which he does not want to admit even to himself. Human life should not be considered as the proper material for wild experiments. Those who have eyes to see and ears to hear will soon convince themselves that mortals cannot hide any secret. Analogies, it is true, decide nothing, but they can make one feel more at home. The scope of one's personality is defined by the magnitude of that problem which is capable of driving a person out of his wits. We are never so vulnerable as when we love, and never so hopelessly unhappy as when we lose the object of our love. Trying to be completely sincere with yourself is a good exercise. The words which we use in our everyday speech are nothing other than watered-down magic. Every man must find out for himself in what particular fashion he can be saved. Dark, unfeeling and unloving powers determine human destiny. What we know to be useless, but expect civilization to value, is beauty. We can never give up, we only exchange one thing for another. The communal life of human beings had, therefore, a twofold foundation, the compulsion to work, which was created by external necessity, and the power of love. Dogs love their friends and bite their enemies, quite unlike people, who are incapable of pure love and always have to mix love and hate. Just as no one can be forced into belief, so no one can be forced into unbelief. One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. The great question that has never been answered, and which I have not yet been able to answer, despite my 30 years of research into the feminine soul, is what does a woman want? He that has eyes to see and ears to hear may convince himself that no mortal can keep a secret. If his lips are silent, he chatters with his fingertips, betrayal oozes out of him at every pore. The intention that man should be happy is not in the plan of creation. We are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love. I cannot think of any need in childhood as strong as the need for a father's protection. Being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. We are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love. Where does a thought go when it's forgotten? Religion is an illusion, and it derives its strength from the fact that it falls in with our instinctual desires. It is that we are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love, never so helplessly unhappy as when we have lost our loved object or its love. Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. Whoever loves becomes humble. Those who love have, so to speak, pawned a part of their narcissism. The behavior of a human being in sexual matters is often a prototype for the whole of his other modes of reaction in life. Beauty has no obvious use, nor is there any clear cultural necessity for it. Yet civilization could not do without it. Men are more moral than they think and far more immoral than they can imagine. The dream is the liberation of the spirit from the pressure of external nature, a detachment of the soul from the fetters of matter. Conservatism, however, is too often a welcome excuse for lazy minds, loath to adapt themselves to fast-changing conditions. Men are strong so long as they represent a strong idea; they become powerless when they oppose it.